I'm Jonathan Carr-West. I'm head of the Centre of Local Democracy at LGIU, the local democracy think tank. And I was chairing this session looking at the role of members in community empowerment. And I think I was asked to do that because at LGIU we've been leading the research support to Hub 4 of the Network of Empowering Authorities, which was looking at the role of members. And in this session I sort of talked briefly about some of the findings we'd found about that, which were broadly that there were several anxieties that elected members had around the role of community empowerment, but there were also drivers that we felt would keep this on the political agenda for some time to come. So there's a set of practical issues about how can members really engage the community in decision making. What are the limitations of that? What are the sort of problems they have to overcome? And we heard from councillors Chris Williams and Alison Bucknell from Wiltshire County Council in New Unitary. And they were talking about the area boards that they've set up in Wiltshire. They have 18 area boards. And those bring together people in a particular area with councillors, with other strategic stakeholders from the LSP and beyond, and they examine issues of local interest. And they also sort of make awards to local bodies, grant awards that enable them to do things in their communities. And I think, for me, three key points arose from this. Firstly, the importance of a very transparent process. These meetings are public, they're quite large numbers of people operating in a sort of cabaret style, but they also have a sort of web presence through which people are able to raise issues and sort of log them on the website, and they use that to sort of give some order to it rather than a sort of free-for-all public question time. But that process is very transparent, so everyone understands how things get to be on the agenda and what they're going to do in the meeting, and that's clearly very important. The second issue that came across really clearly to me was the use of funding and budgets to drive engagement. It was clearly an important factor in their success that they had money available through these meetings to be devolved down to community groups. That decision was still made by councillors because it was a council pot of money. But nevertheless, there was something there to bid for. There was some sort of tangible outcome that people could come away with that would enable them to get things done in their community. And clearly that sort of funding driver was quite important to the success of the meetings. They've had over 6,000 people have come through that process. So yeah, it clearly is doing very well at engaging people who wouldn't otherwise have sort of engaged in the day-to-day sort of decision-making of the council, with trying to have more of a say in decisions in their local area. So on many levels, yeah, fantastic success. But I think there were also some key questions raised and some anxieties that other people in the audience, particularly other councillors in the audience, raised about the process, questions that we need to think about going forward, or perhaps the councillors in other areas need to think about. The first two key issues that came out for me. The first was about whether this was playing an operational role or a strategic role. And it was clear that in terms of giving small-scale grant funding to particular local initiatives, it was functioning at a fairly operational level. And they hadn't yet made the leap from sort of how do we do X, well let's give some money to these people to do this, to having a more strategic function where you brought people together to really talk about the future of their community and what they wanted to achieve, how they were going to do that at a greater scale. And the second was the consistent concern that we found coming through the research that we did to support the Hub 4 as well, which was a concern about the representativeness of the people who took part. So 6,000 people participating in 100-odd meetings, up to sort of 60 or 70 people at each meeting. But who are they? Are they people, are they truly representative of the community? Do they have fixed agendas? Are they trying to, are there vested interests involved? And this is a consistent problem that arose in the research we did at the council. And I think, for me, the key issue always is how do you break through that? How do you keep doing the work, keep reaching ever larger numbers of people in the community? Because that's essential, both for the efficacy of these processes and to ensure their democratic legitimacy.